Yo, what's happening, world? Name's Raheem Flowers, and because I'm a part of the morale page, there's a lot of people who are a part of the manosphere. I personally, myself, don't consider myself part of the manosphere, nor MGTOW, but there are many things that I do agree on with the brothers, but I don't like to align myself with such groups, or I like to be a freelancer personally, and I look at MGTOW as like an inverted form of feminism, which is why I personally don't partake in it. And with that being said, fuck that broad Simone56 and the dick she wrote it on, and trying to censor brothers, black men, from voicing their opinions and truths about the ills that transpire in the black community and the contributing roles that many black women unfortunately play. Now, see, but here's the tricky part with all this. Here's the paradox of the situation. Even though black men like Tommy Sotomayor, like Queso Black, like Tariq Nasheed, who was apparently on that list, Jason the Black Authority, Sergeant Willie Pete, David Carroll, JD Black, Ring MGTOW, and a whole plethora of individuals. And I primarily saw Tommy's channel being more than anyone else, since he loves to pride himself of being the forefather and the pioneer of speaking about black women in that harsh and critical manner. And you know, the problem is, as black men, too many egos get involved. The main things that fucks black men, or men period, not just black men, men period across the board over, is pussy and ego. See, at one point, everybody, like, and I think 2012, 2013-ish, they were like banding together on some Justice League Super Friends type of action and X-Men, but then they had all these fallouts. Tommy having a fallout and issue with Jason the Black Authority, having issues with, especially Tommy Sotomayor having issues with Tariq, and Sarge having issues with Quest and Soul, vice versa. Then you got Sonetta and Polite not fucking with each other, and the Amarat Squad having an issue. All that bullshit, whether you part of the conscious community or, and then you got O'Shea Jackson and Minister Jab and Angry Man having this alliance against Tommy, and then they, to the point where they even had a roast session during that period when, you know, they were going in on Vlad, and even I had my own commentary about it. And you know, it's no use if we know what the problem is with black women, black men, if we don't even work on ourselves, if we haven't even built a foundation. And with that being said, I'm not leaving you black broads off the hook by a fucking long shot. But I had to point that out to the brothers, especially the ones who are very prevalent in what is called the manosphere of YouTube. And in addition, black women, you brought that upon yourself. I think it's a karmic reaction. When you went on Oprah, when you go on Maury, when you go on Jerry Springer, when you go on your diatribes on YouTube, hypocritically enough, but then you have the nerve to do all this censorship against black men because for voicing their opinions. How is their opinions harming you? How are they having a direct effect on you? Because unless you're looking at it from a critical thinking standpoint, why do you feel to have this inclination to go to videos that you know or you feel is opposed to black women? I just, for the life of me, there's no logic behind that. That just shows you that you just look for dick and attention, and you know that these simp ass niggas are gonna give it to you. That's why dudes like Conspiracy Dude can make videos talking about black men and what is called the manosphere, and say how the incompetence is what prompts black women to be that way. And you know, they liked, guys like Conspiracy Dude like to sprinkle hints and elements of intelligence with a whole cup of simping. Yeah. And you know, black women have made it to where they've embraced this fucked up dynamic where they think that the white boy is the golden cow and the do nothing thug ass Negro is the other one in line, and if all falls short, you could go and get you a simp. This is what the message that they've given you, black men. And frankly, I think Quest and Soul probably had the most sensible approach in terms of just doing you. If you find a black woman who's reasonable like that, by all means, but don't try to put so much emphasis. Try to build foundations for yourself and the rest of your kin. Don't just say, I'm gonna do this for my queens and we gonna do a whole bunch of nation building. But then you can't even do that when you say, nah, fuck that nigga for these reasons. And, you know, niggas like Corey Holcomb and Zoe Williams, fuck Tommy, and then Quest and Soul and Sarge bumping heads with each other. I mean, y'all will find all sorts of excuses to not fuck with each other. And even if there are truths to what they do, but you have to learn how to say, you know what, even though I don't fuck with you, even though I got my eye on you and I'm gonna keep my third eye wide open for you, I understand that there's a bigger picture at hand and we're gonna take care of that. Yup. So that's how it's looking right now. And black women, I don't understand how you can play the victim when you are the gatekeepers when it comes to building a family unit. You are the ones who've allowed these do-nothing thug-ass Negroes to bust inside your pussy like a volcano. Yup. But then, on another side of the spectrum, they'll say, well, the educated lame just couldn't satisfy me and he was boring. But, you know, you gotta stop looking at people in a one-dimensional manner. There's more than just the educated thug, and I mean, there's more than just the educated lame, as Sarge puts it, and the thug. Like, there's the working class one. There's the stand-up guys who just do them, and they actually want a family. But, you know, it's like you have to have two choices. That's the problem. See, don't get me wrong. I think to a degree, women of all ethnicities do that. They look for somebody who, because we're visual creatures as humans, and we look for people who seem like they have power. Women are attracted to power just by default, which is why a lot of black women look at white men. It's not even for aesthetic reasons. Aesthetics is secondary. Primary, they want that power. They want to garner it. They want to tame it. And, well, sexually speaking, they want to be tamed by it. But anyways, the point is, when it comes to a dynamic, it's just a power